Hi, my name's Charles
Hi.
Malky, biologist and plant expert with Ivory Organics, where we grow cool plants and author of Saving the World with the Home Garden. And today we're here with Tara of She's Rooted Home. And this is someone who hopefully you're familiar with, as over the years, we've done high desert gardening together. We've also got an introduction to beehive care and so much more. And I'm going to put the links to all of those lessons down below. But today, it's all about the spring 2022 seed exchange. And Tara, please share a little bit about She's Rooted Home and what you guys are about.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so happy to be here. So, my name is Tara. I am a wife and homeschooling mama who's passionate about getting back to the basics. She's Rooted Home was created from my desire to cultivate a homestead in the Southern California desert and also just maintain that organic lifestyle for my family. And so, through that, I had to learn how to garden in the Mojave Desert and provide that extra nutrients and food for my family that I was so desperately desiring for us to have. So I started sharing my experience as I was gardening in the desert. And more people were like, how are you growing this food? What do we do? And I realized that there was this broad spectrum of growing zones, and I wasn't able to help everybody the same way that I could help somebody in my growing zone. So I created this opportunity to connect gardeners with one another in their growing zone. And that's how She's Rooted Home Seed Exchange came about, and kind of how we've gotten to get to know each other.
That's a beautiful story. I'm proud to share that I've been a member as well as a sponsor of the seed exchange through She's Rooted Home for many years now. And my last seed exchange partner, among other things, sent all of these seeds to me. So we got flowers and vegetables and a whole bunch of stuff for me to incorporate into the backyard orchard. In addition to, got gloves, a label maker as well for identifying a lot of the things that I graft on my property. And sometimes I'm using makeshift products, but I got these really cool aluminum labels that I was able to now write all the grafted varieties that I'm putting on my tree from year to year in a way that'll last for decades, compared to what I do that might only last a season or two. So I really appreciate that. But I feel like, even though I feel super special about being a part of the seed exchange, I know that I'm just one of the many participants in the She's Rooted Home Seed Exchange. Can you explain how this, all gets put together, and with all of these generous donors of really cool products to integrate into the backyard orchard?
Yeah, of course. So the seed exchange is basically an opportunity to connect seeds and people. Like I was saying, with the growing zone, there's so much that goes into growing a garden. You want pest control. You want to know when to plant your seeds. You want to know when you're harvesting your seeds, when you're transplanting your seeds that are already started indoors, or even rotating your crops. And so I wanted an opportunity for gardeners to get to know another person that was already growing in their zone and could help them with all of that information. So the seed exchange is basically this opportunity to get to know another gardener. And in the process, as you're learning from them, you get to curate a box that you believe that they would love and enjoy specific to their garden. So like you mentioned, you can give a birdhouse, or for you, you're grafting all the time. And so that label maker is amazing. And when you send a seed exchange package, the fun thing is, like, I lay everything out for you on my website. When you sign up, you will make sure that you go through all of that. It'll tell you that, there's a minimum of 5 seed packets, and then there's a minimum of a $75 box fee. So you're making sure you're adding value to that person that you're sending to. So aprons, gloves, fertilizer, seeds, tags, label makers, books. There's just, the options are endless. And it's just a fun experience to be able to gain that knowledge and wisdom, but also open your mailbox to all this happy mail.
I truly love that. And I know it's a good lesson in life also to always, consider yourself as a cup half full, and that you're going to partner up with someone for that particular grow season and share your expertise with them, just as you're going to get paired up with. And it's usually, you're not, in my experience, you're not paired up with the same person giving and receiving. is you're
Yes.
receiving from one person and you're giving to another. So you're really
Mhm.
making friends with two people. Can you share now, I guess, some details in regards to how people can participate on She's Rooted Home Seed Exchange, and maybe a little bit more about the criteria?
Yeah, of course. So all participants are US residents only, and they are also required to, give information about themselves. So like their growing zone, their Instagram handle, so that way the participants that they are matched with can get to know them. And I do pick two participants or partners with each participant because, like you said, it's just so fun to get to know two people. And so one you're going to give your package to, and the other you're going to receive from. So you're not only gaining knowledge and wisdom from two different gardeners within your growing zone, but hopefully you're able to build those connections and not only swap a garden box, but even recipes or sharing your garden produce. Like for me, I grow Swiss chard abundantly. And so I'm able to pair that with somebody that, I meet locally, and they're giving me radishes and they're getting Swiss chard. So it's just this fun opportunity to not only get to know people online, but if you are even closer within that zone range, you can even meet people in person, join those gardening clubs, and really spread the love of gardening, because it is one of those things that is just growing rapidly and everybody's eager to learn.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all that, and to hopefully further help ensure this year's success. As I know the Seed Exchange has been growing from year to year to
Mhm.
year, in all the years that we've been participating. And I see you have more sponsors now than you've ever had before. And I
Yes.
just want to make sure that this spring of 2022, and these challenging and difficult times, and we're all trying to do our best, and and things are
Mhm.
getting more expensive, and we're all chipping in and doing the best that we can to make sure everybody's having the best, gardening experience possible. I'm reaching out to all of the Ivory Organic friends and family members, and also the She's Rooted Home Network, and asking you guys to just take a few minutes out of your time to tag your friends and family members in the gardening community, and specifically what we're going to do and offer starting immediately, effective today, and through the closing of the signups, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is on March 14th of 2022. Signups close, and what Ivory Organic is going to do to hopefully further incentivize and also give a gift to you guys is we're going to be offering the Ivory Organics Super Blend Fertilizer, this 11.8 ounce bag, which it makes 20 gallons of foliar feed. If you want to, filter the product, use a foliar feed, you can do it as a liquid fertilizer. Also contains azomite, which is crushed volcanic rock, delivering a lot of the micronutrients. And the Ivory Organic brand fertilizers offer your plants all 6 macronutrients, compared to about 98% of the fertilizers out there only focus on NPK, which is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but plants need all 6 macronutrients. Those are elements and nutrients the soil should have in abundance, which include calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. And the Ivory Organic brand all-purpose fertilizers have all of that. And we're giving away our super blend to the top 5 most influential people. That, again, look for the thumbnail that you see here on the screen. You'll find it at She's Rooted Home Instagram account, and I'm putting the link to her account so you can go straight there. You're going to find this image that's here on your screen, and below it, I want you guys to first, for those of you that are new, make sure you're following She's Rooted Home. Second, make sure you like the image. And most importantly, I want you to start now tagging your favorite, gardening friends, family members. And the more you do, the better your chances are to win the top 5 most influential people. We're going to give away 5 bags of the Ivory Organics Super Blend plus azomite fertilizer. Additionally, to get the seed exchange off to a kickoff, I've got all of these seeds, which I collected towards the end of last year. It was part of the seed exchange from one of my, I call them pen pals, that gave it to me. And I just basically am running out of room with all of these seeds. So figure that with each of your bags of fertilizer, you're also going to get from She's Rooted Home. It's actually through her network that I get all these seeds. So you can expect about 2 to 3, maybe more packets of seeds with your fertilizer as well. And Tara is going to announce those winners on March 15th. So figure the day after, we should basically be able to identify the top 5 most influential people. And I encourage all of you, even if you're only going to tag one friend, to please contribute, to please make this the most successful event for Tara and She's Rooted Home and her family, and all of the awesome educational content, which is not just gardening. Tell us more about She's Rooted Home. I know you're so much more than just plants.
Yes, so much more. I guess because I'm a homeschooling mama, I'm super passionate about, how I'm spending my time with my children. And so it's just getting back to the basics for me. I love to crochet. My kids, most of their stuffed animals are gifts that I've made them. And even like bread in the morning when we're enjoying like a good loaf of bread, it's likely to be my sourdough. And so it's just building that intention within the home. And so that's something that I'm very passionate about. And I love encouraging others to do the same. One of my favorite mottos is to live the life you love right where you're at. And for me, that was learning how to live the life that I wanted, which was the farm life, the garden life, the animal life, but doing that right here in the high desert of California, which is not an easy thing to do, especially when you're in the desert. You're like, how am I going to feed these animals? How am I going to grow something? And I love that Ivy Organics has been able to help us add that nutrients back to our soil, because it is so hot in the desert. The sun just beats away our soil and it's lacking those macronutrients. It's lacking those secondary nutrients, like you were saying. And it's just so important to be able to, work with other companies and work with these amazing brands that are able to kind of help us and kind of catapult us in those directions to our dreams, which for us was gardening and being able to provide food that our family could love, or that our family would love and enjoy. Yeah. So another thing that is super cool about just my family and what we're sharing on She's Rooted Home is the fact that I love being a full-time family, I would call it, on the weekends, where my husband is home. Our hobbies are very similar. We both desire to grow our own food, to know where it's coming from, and to work on building a homestead and cultivating the soil and our property while we're here. And so something that's really fun is my husband is super involved. He is my fruit tree expert. And so while I share more about our garden and our bread making life, he's the one that is constantly sharing our fruit tree advice and how we get those planted, how we care for those. And one of his favorite Ivy Organic products is the whitewash. Because we live in such a hot climate, it is really common for our trees to blister or burn or get insects that are trying to burrow their way in there. And so one of the ways that he protects our fruit trees, even from rodents here in the high desert, is through your whitewash paint, which is so amazing.
That's fantastic. And I remember Chad also sharing that he was buying Ivy Organics brand products before I came back to your property, and before we did that first lesson many years ago, and together, explained and brought the education to She's Rooted Home audience, as well as, another lesson, educational lesson, to the Ivy Organics community as well. And thank you so very much for that, Tara.
Absolutely. Yes. He's a little bit more behind the scenes on things, but he's super helpful.
For sure. So for those gardeners that want to participate in the spring of 2022 She's Rooted Home Seed Exchange, how can they learn more about it and how can they get started today?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can head to my website, which is shesrootedhome.com. And from there, you can click on the seed exchange icon and it'll bring you to the information page, which will help you answer any questions that you might have. And you're also always welcome to send me an email. The signups are only open for a week, and we are coming to an end to that here in the next few days. So make sure, if this is something that you were interested in, you get signed up right away. You don't want to miss this.
Time is running out. March 14th, the sign up does close and the pairing begins. So it's important that you do sign up before or on March 14th of 2022. And for your convenience, again, I'm putting that link to She's Rooted Home Seed Exchange there in the video description below. Simply click it. It'll take you directly there, so you don't have to Google search any of these keywords that we're sharing with you, as well as, again, another reminder to also go to She's Rooted Home Instagram account and do share this very important event with your gardening friends and family. If you've enjoyed this educational lesson brought to you by Ivory Organics, be sure to give us a thumbs up and most importantly, share us with your gardening friends and family. For those of you that have not yet subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the push bell notification to stay informed of all of these important, sometimes time-sensitive information. And as always, keep growing with Ivory Organics and wishing you all
happy gardening.
Happy gardening.